So with all eyes on the Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska on Friday, a study by the Kiel Institute shows that the U.S. military support to Ukraine between April and June this year was nil. Now, this is contrary to the latest statement by the American Vice President J.D. Vance, who said that the United States is paying too much to support Ukraine while Europe is paying very little. A June 2025 review by the Kiel Institute fact-checked the claim by the United States on the arms support to Ukraine and the deportation of refugees since Trump assumed charge in his second term. Now, in terms of the money that's been paid per individual taxpayer, the most generous supporters of Ukraine happen to be the Estonians and the Danes and not the American citizens. Now, each taxpayer in Denmark and Estonia contributes close to about 3% of the total national GDP to Ukraine assistance. Now, between January to March, support to Ukraine by other allies was as much as about $31.3 billion, while for the United States it was $581,000. From April to June 2025, the group's findings show that the U.S. support to Ukraine was zero. In that same period, the total support to Ukraine by its other allies was about $31.3 billion. In fact, since the war started, aggregate non-U.S. support for Ukraine from January 2022 till April 2025 outweighs the American support significantly, and the gap is now beginning to widen very rapidly. While non-U.S. support has contributed to about $181 billion, U.S. support is said to be about $133 billion. The June 2025 review by the Kiel Institute therefore states that the U.S. contribution and taxpayer burden are even more contrary to what J.D. Vance has said.
Care so much about this conflict, you should be willing to play a more direct and a more substantial way in funding this war yourself. I think the president and I certainly think that America, we're done with the funding of the Ukraine war business. We want to bring about a peaceful settlement to this thing. We want to stop the killing. But Americans, I think, are sick of continuing to send their money, their tax dollars to this particular conflict. But if the Europeans want to step up and actually buy the weapons from American producers, we're okay with that. But we're not going to fund it ourselves anymore.
Well, speaking of supporting the Ukrainian refugees, Germany and Poland are major contributors to Ukraine on a per capita basis, as per the study by the Kiel Institute. Germany is home to nearly about 1.2 million refugees, while Poland hosts about 990,000 refugees. In stark contrast, the burden on the U.S. taxpayer is less than 1% of the national GDP. And according to the U.S. immigration figures, the United States has accepted some 287,000 Ukrainian refugees over the course of this 3-year-plus war. Now, this is about 7.3 times less than the number that have been accepted by countries such as Poland and Germany combined. The social burden borne by an individual Polish citizen to provide asylum for the Ukrainians is about 27 times greater than that has been borne by the American citizens.